into our next story. We're talking about tipping culture in the UAE.
Well, Dubai resident spots delivery riders 3 tips for 24 orders. Yes, Dubai residents recently flagged a troubling issue on social media because in just 48 hours, a delivery rider completed 24 orders. And of course, you would expect a lot of tips. And he as well traveled over 150 kilometers, but only got tips for 3 of them.
The residents shared their observations on Instagram stories, highlighting the need for more people to consider tipping delivery drivers in the city who work hard to bring us our favorite meals and products.
As well, many riders are seeing a decline in tips, which can make a significant difference in their earnings. And we talk about this a lot all the time, and it's like heartbreaking. Like, he has worked for like 24 hours a day and only got 3 tips from like 3 orders.
There's a really mixed bag of opinion on this because I think a lot of it's really surprising. The majority of the public port of opinion on our feed, and I think, we got nearly 200,000 views on the video yesterday. People are saying they don't want a tip. They don't want that kind of US tipping culture necessity of 20% to come to the fore, because what happens is in the US is there's no minimum wage. So the service industry, their lives are based on tipping. So they don't want that to happen. So actually the majority of people are saying, don't tip.
Look, I understand that. But I think that, for example, like in such a case where like he went like 150 kilometers, right, for like 24 hours a day, a lot of orders, and he only got 3 tips. Tips can not only be money, you know what I mean? I think it can be like as simple as like, thank you for your service. This is water for you, or like thank you. Because he's probably like hot. Like, have you seen like the heat lately? Throughout midday, it gets really hot. So I wouldn't understand how delivery riders do it. I couldn't do it in my own car.
Yeah. Well, interesting. A couple of people did jump into the post and say we tip cash and we tip goods at the door, which wouldn't be tracked on this because this is just the digital cash tips that they received on the purchase. So maybe people are giving water at the door. Maybe people are giving cash tips at the door. My take on this is we don't need it to jump into US type tipping culture where a 20% is mandatory. I think tip when the service is good. And I think you tip the service industry. That's the industry. So whether you're getting your hair done, like what else do we... restaurant, when you're in a restaurant. So if you tip across the service industry, then you should tip delivery drivers.
I agree with you 100%. However, I think people are just like, they fear the fact that it would be as identical as the US regarding like the tipping culture and so on. It wouldn't be because like, at the end of the day, like you can, like, if you are ordering something, let's say like a meal, right? You can tip as little as 5 dirhams. Right? So what difference is it gonna make? It's not gonna do anything. So, and if they could be tipping cash, you can tip like, again, even if it's like a dirham, like you don't need to like take all of the cash back if like you still have change and so on. I don't know. Again, like, because like it's a very like, I don't want to offend anyone because like.
Yeah. I'm just thinking we don't tip Amazon orders. I was just thinking of all the orders that come to my door, and sometimes I have water, but that's not a thing. I wonder if Amazon would, is that a thing on Amazon?
Because I'm gonna like write notes right now.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos watching. Because, it's always an option on, and I don't know about Amazon, but it's something to think about because what are their salaries?